The holiday travel season has begun, and the recently installed full electronic body scan machines at Lindbergh Field are busy. Their purpose is to ensure public safety, but those scanners have made some passengers uncomfortable, even resistant. One Oceanside man made the news early this week by refusing the scan and the alternative pat-down body search. With me to talk about the objections and if they are deserved is KUSI's Director of Content and News Planning, Bob Kittle. Let me ask about this man. Why has one man's refusal to be searched elicited so much attention?
Well, it's interesting. For one thing, he had a rather punchy phrase when he said to the TSA agent who was about to pat him down, "If you touch my junk, I'll have you arrested." That phrase has gone around the world, and it has become a rallying cry for people who are opposed to government intrusion in general, Gloria. But I think it goes beyond that in the sense that it does touch a certain nerve in the American psyche about an all-intrusive government. That phrase, "don't touch my junk," has been compared to "don't tread on me," sort of the Revolutionary War slogan of the Revolutionary soldiers from Vermont. So I think there's something, he's touched a nerve in the American psyche with this rebellion against government intrusion.
Well, we're talking about two things now. We're talking about the electronic body scanners,
yes,
and we're talking about the personal pat-down.
Right.
Is one more objectionable than the other?
Well, to this gentleman, John Tyner of Oceanside, they both are equally objectionable. I think the scanner itself produces very graphic photographs of the body without clothes on, in effect. So if you've seen the images on the internet, it is a very graphic way of screening someone. The pat-down itself is also very intrusive. If you've seen how it's done, if a woman is being patted down by a female TSA agent, the agent cups her breasts and goes down her legs, her groin, her buttocks. Same thing with a man. So, it is either, any way you look at it, it's a very invasive search.
Well, aside from the invasiveness of it, aren't there other concerns as well?
Sure.
Health concerns?
Well, the health concern has been raised about the radiation that the scanner emits, particularly by the Airline Pilots Association and flight attendants who have to potentially go through a scanner like that multiple times every workday. There is concern about the cumulative effect that kind of radiation exposure might cause.
What about your constitutional rights?
Well, the Fourth Amendment here, the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution stipulates that the government may not conduct unreasonable searches. And the question as a constitutional matter is this an unreasonable search? That matter will work its way through the courts. A number of suits have been filed. I suspect it will ultimately have to be resolved by the U.S. Supreme Court. And while I think the searches really are inappropriate and overly intrusive and unnecessary, I'm not sure that the Supreme Court would find that it violates the Fourth Amendment.
Interesting. A lot may have to do with the agents who actually do the search.
Sure.
How well screened are they? Can we trust them with our persons?
That's right. An enormous amount of power and responsibility is given to these TSA agents as they put their hands on your body or decide whether you go through the metal detector or the scanner. So if these people are not well trained, if they are not psychologically fit to conduct this work, a lot of problems can occur. And I think we've seen a lot of problems. We've heard horror stories now for weeks from people who have been subjected to searches that they felt were just way too invasive.
I think what it comes down to is, how is it possible to reconcile individual choice with the public good, protecting the public good?
Well, certainly the government has an overriding responsibility to protect the traveling public. The question, however, is whether these searches make us any safer, whether the scanner makes us any safer. The reality is that, in my view, most people should not be subjected to such an intensive search because, searching an 85-year-old grandmother is a waste of government resources, time, and money, and it inflicts upon that 85-year-old grandmother a very unnecessary search, I believe.
Thank you very much, Bob Kittle.
Thank you, Gloria.